The Wellness Show, episode 153. Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyhson Banighen, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. So welcome to the Wellness Show, and today we're going to talk with Christy Warnick. And Christy's spiritual journey started a few years ago with a very profound wake-up call, or what she calls a course correction. After having some allergy symptoms and looking for and finding alternative treatments for them, her health kept getting worse. She was given a choice and chose to follow a divinely guided spiritual path to save her life. Once it was evident that medical doctors were unable to help her, she turned to energy healing for deeper work. She contacted and worked with many different energy healers, and she's very grateful for all that she learned from each and every one of them. Most of them were unable to make a difference with her symptoms, but she was determined to find a way to be completely healthy, and she found the answer and power was all within her. And so, welcome to the show, Christy Warnick.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. So a little bit more on your backstory. It sounds like it could have been quite difficult for you. Is that correct?
Yes, with the symptoms, the allergy symptoms, and like I said, they're all just symptoms. But when it affects your life and causes so many limitations, especially if it's affecting your sensory and nervous system, that can be very profound and life-changing. So, yes, I had a choice to either make the changes to basically save my life, or, I just didn't want to be here otherwise. So, yeah.
So how did you make that change from didn't want to be here? Did you just reach out and ask for guidance or direction? What was that sort of turnaround point for you?
I was just so determined to make the changes that I knew needed to be made, and I felt very strongly pulled towards the energy healing, that was the answer. And so I did, go through many energy healers, and it was a very long journey, it seemed at the time. But in contrast to like what the journey that led up to that, almost 40 years. And so really a few years is nothing compared to that. So it was all worth it. And now it has led me to where I am today to, I've been through the suffering, so I understand what people are going through. And so I'm better able to understand where they're coming from and how to help them.
Yeah, I think that's really important, and that gives the empathy that people need to know that you've been there and done that and graduated yourself. So how did you know and discover that you had healing powers yourself?
Mostly through meditations. I was meditating and working with energy healers, and then I realized I just started getting just information was just coming in, and I was realizing that that this was divine guidance. It was, coming from, God, source, creator, or, I work with the archangels and the ascended masters. And so all of that just kind of came together for me. And I just realized that I can mix and match what I had already learned with what I was receiving, and kind of come up with my own way of doing things, and it just works.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. So in a typical session with you that it just works, what sort of things happen? Are you able to tune into the person's energy field? Is that the way the guidance works for you, or do you get words or feelings or impressions, or how does it happen for you?
Yeah, we start with it's usually over the phone, and I connect with God's source for all of my guidance. I get that directly from the main source. And I have helpers as well, the archangels, like I said, the ascended masters, the God teams, my guides, all of those help. And so you just ask about the person, you tune into their name, and sometimes you don't even really need to know their location because you're on the phone with them. And so you just, it's divine, like I said, that divine connection straight with God, source, or creator, and just ask what is the highest and best for them at this time. And so with that comes, whether it's clearing of negative energies, emotions, working with the subconscious, completely clearing, things that are just not serving them. I do alignments and balancing, working with the chakras, all the systems. I work with the mind, body, soul, and spirit on all levels and all layers. And there's just a big picture out there, and so you just have to work with that. And like I said, I just know, I just get the guidance that I need as to what's highest and best at that time.
Well, that sounds very, very powerful. So,
Okay.
so I understand that you're beginning to develop a new course that brings all of the learning together into one body of information to help people to get from where they are to where they need to be. So tell us a bit about what you have in mind there.
Yes, I've learned. I've always loved miracles. I loved hearing stories about miracles. So miracles are everywhere. Each and every one of us is a miracle, and people really need to know that they have this power within them, to create and to create a reality that they choose. And so we always have a choice. So if you make a choice to make a change in your life, you can change your reality, because you have to be ready for change. So once you make that choice, you can create anything that you choose in your life. So the program that I'm creating is about transformation. It's life transformational, and it's interactive because I help them create their own list. And then I double check it to make sure, that it's in alignment with their life purpose or their soul's mission. And so that everything is in alignment to be received much more quickly. And so then things start to shift and change for them, because I put the energy with that I'm given to do that. And it just, there is some homework involved. Of course, you've got to learn how to change your thinking. You've got to learn how to think more positively and focus on what you do want versus what you don't want.
Yeah, isn't that true? Everybody will tell you what they don't want for endless hours, but getting people that tell you what they do want can be a bit of a struggle. So this list that you help them create, is this like a manifestation list? Is that the primary focus?
You can do a manifestation list. I started with an I am list.
All right.
And that's what we work with, is actually an I am list, but you can actually call it an I choose list, because a lot of people, when they say affirmations, I am, even though the words I am are very powerful, and the I am presence is very powerful. But when they don't actually have that in the here and now, that can create anxiety or depression for people, because they don't actually have it now, and that's what they focus on. And so, but if you use I choose, and it's like you're creating. So it's like, I'm choosing to have this. You're putting in an order with the universe. And so once I keep you in alignment.
Why do you think people have a problem with the I am I statement? Is it because they're not comfortable yet realizing that they're part of source or part of God? I'm just wondering, because you're right, there's nothing more powerful than an I am statement, right?
Sure. And more people focus on the I am things that are not necessarily the positive things about themselves. It's just things that they've been told or things that they, have programmed within them.
Right.
But when they say I am completely healthy, when they've got all these symptoms and things, that's like the mind and the heart, it's kind of like a conflict that it creates.
So it's a disconnect.
So when you're, it's totally different.
Yeah. So let's could you give a go at this? So give an example of some of the I am statements that you would help people focus on to get from where they are to where they want to be.
Okay. I am completely healthy. I am happy. I am loved. I am abundant. I am divine. I am powerful. The list goes on and on. I have a list. One person I'm working with has a list that's like 8 pages long, and it's just because there's just so many possibilities. The possibilities are endless, and I believe that anything is possible.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, and you align them. And so I align them with this list. And so we keep them in alignment with that, and therefore it manifests more quickly. And they start to shift and change and transform based on, someone that I'm working with now, she's just had amazing results just in a couple of months. And so we've got her in almost full alignment with her list completely. And like I said, it's 8 or 9 pages long. And so we also have a picture that she focuses on, and we can actually integrate these things, and I can do downloads these as beliefs and programs into the subconscious mind, so that the subconscious actually starts to believe these things are in the here and now, and then they start to create because they do become their reality.
Now, do you have to clear out the beliefs, the ones that are unworthy, or the ones that are rooted in unresolved conflict and trauma? Or are you able to just help them focus on these positive statements that help clear those negative or non-beneficial energies that they tend to run on a daily basis? So I'm curious, how did you do that part?
Yes, it's something I was able to do. I just set the intention that I could do it, and I was able to do it by shifting and transforming the mind, body, soul, and spirit, because it involves every part of their being, really. And
Right.
so it shifts everything. So it does shift out the negative beliefs and the things that are no longer serving them, and it brings in the positive ones, the new ones. So it's shifting out as you're receiving.
That's great. So if I'm understanding it correctly, you don't need to help them get out of their own way. Just by doing this helps them get to stand in their truth. Am I understanding correctly?
Yes, as long as they do, like I said, the homework, there's things that you need to focus on. Like I said, the things that you do want versus the things you don't. So you do need to change your thinking.
Right.
And so you have to think, because if you're thinking, oh, well, I'm not loved, or this or that, well, then you're not going to be. So that's going to kind of offset the progress. So the more you start changing your thinking, and there's books, there's resources that will be available, books, and if you're not a reader, there's a couple of movies that are recommended, or audio books. But there's different assignments that are given out just to kind of help people along, and so that the progress is more quickly, and the transformation can be sometimes, some things are just very instant. I can work higher self and their guides to make sure that those are the highest and best for them. If they're not, they can be changed.
So you help people also know their soul essence or their life path. And so how do you do
Yes.
that? Are you guided? You just tune into the person and you know? I'm curious about that part of the work that you do.
Yeah, I like I said, I connect directly to God's source, and I ask the questions. I just ask and I get answers. And then I double check through muscle testing. I learned how to do that years ago.
Yeah.
And so with divine muscle testing, you're testing by being connected with God. So I ask for God's truths with my answers just to back up the knowledge that I'm receiving. So just to double check everything to make sure that it is in alignment and for the highest and best good. It's always for the highest and best good.
Yeah, that sounds very exciting. And certainly in the dowsing that I teach, the dowsing, the answers I only want from my higher self or from a source, right? Any other answer is irrelevant. So are you going to be able, in a more advanced course, people to be able to teach people how to do all of this themselves?
Absolutely. In fact, with just a session with me, as I'm doing the work and I'm just a facilitator. I do what it's not my power or energy that's being used. It's obviously universal power and energy. So it's basically the power that we all have within us. But it's God's power or source or creator, whatever you choose. And so it does, it just works that way. That like energy, just the spiritual and the intuitive and the energy healing, because you're always connected, and I use my intuition, and obviously energy, everything is energy.
Right.
So yeah, the sessions that I can do now actually prepare them for the program that's coming up. So it gets a lot of the stuff kind of out of the way. It prepares them. And yeah, but the muscle testing does definitely come. It's very beneficial when it's like you're getting, you want to double check numbers. Like if you're checking numbers, see how they're scoring with certain things. That way you can check the progress of someone and how they're coming along.
So do you have a name for this new course?
So far it's going to be called the STAR program, because I feel that I'll be attracting. Well, first of all, you're kind of connecting with your own star, which is your, I've recently found out that I've been calling it your star sign, but it's really your divine frequency. It's who you are truly meant to be.
Right.
You just got to get all the other stuff out of the way. And so you get into alignment with that, and then things just start to transform. And like I said, I just, with intention alone, it just happens for people. With me, it just instantly starts shifting things and transforming and clearing. Just many different options available. Through my Facebook page, it gives you more information and testimonials, things like that. But yeah, it's been very, it saved my life. So
Right.
yeah.
So how do people get hold of you? What is your Facebook page?
Okay, it's under Christy Warnick, spiritual, intuitive energy healer, but it's also healing. I think it's right here. Healing and magic. Let's see.
We'll have it in the show notes, so you can just send it to me for the show notes. And you have your Facebook here as Discovering Light and Magic. Is that correct?
Yes, and the other was my email address, which is healingmiracle17@yahoo.com.
Right, and they can also phone you, right, and arrange a session?
Yes, yes, they can leave a message and I will return their call, or they can text me or message me through Facebook.
And your number is 1-205-616-5621. So we're getting near the end of the show. We have about 2 minutes to go. So, so you're going to be having this message going out to about 40 different countries worldwide. So what's the message you'd like to leave everybody with?
Well, just to know that they can do this, they can receive this healing or transformation, whatever it is. And like I said, I do downloads, I do clearings, I do healing in many different aspects of their life, any part of their life. And it doesn't just have to be physical. There's other things, but it's all usually goes back to the subconscious. It's usually where you start. And then you just, like I said, it can be done by phone or, over the internet through Facebook Messenger and from anywhere in the world. I've worked with people all over the world in many different countries. If you looked at my Facebook page, everything that I post resonates with me. And I've had many people just say, tell me that they just love looking at my posts because it inspires them.
Right.
Even if there's one person that I affect a day, that's fine. At least I know that I'm helping in any and every way that I can,
Yeah, and
So.
it's your presence and your who you are that made me find you too. So, that's the integrity of who you are is you're inspiring people, and people get who you are by seeing and feeling what you're posting. So it's just something to keep in mind as you move forward. Your marketing will be just as simple as showing up. So are you still doing the IM? Are you still part of the IM organization?
I have my IM list.
Yeah.
And Archangel Michael works very well with the IM presence.
Yeah.
And that's actually who I originally called on to help with that.
Yeah.
And it really did help me. But then, like I said, I still work with the IM list when I'm doing like downloads and stuff.
Right.
But I keep with the I choose when it comes to, if they are to say affirmations or if they were to do a list, you can just say, you can choose to be these things that are on this I am list, so by adding I choose, which is very powerful in itself as well.
Yeah.
That's just kind of giving it more of a, like I said, an order to the universe versus a statement that they may not resonate with at that time. So it's getting them to that point to where they can comfortably say, I am. And it be true.
I'd like you to know that I've been in training for over a year now, running Divine Energies from Mother. It's been a very exciting experience. I think we're now at 54 Divine Energies that we've been gifted through the group of 12 or more. I think it's 12 people in the group. And we're just now running them for each other so that we are used to doing that and conducting the actual divine energies, which we run for on an average 2 hours each session. So each person is responsible for choosing those divine energies and working with Divine Mother to run them. And coupled with the work that you're doing, that would be very, very powerful. It really does, because it really nestles in with what you're teaching people and intuiting and bringing through on your own. So.
And but like I said, it's all done with love. Even like you hear people battling cancer, fighting cancer. I'm gonna fight this. I'm gonna battle this. But what if you loved it? What if you loved it so much that it was just it was able to leave. It was able to just miraculously be gone, because that can happen.
Absolutely
I
can.
truly believe that.
I
So,
believe it.
that works better than fighting something, because when you fight something, it's just going to continue. It's
Absolutely.
going to come back even worse.
Yeah, even strong.
So, yeah. So, if you love it, and that's that's actually part of my soul's mission, involves love. So, and it has to do with many different types, but my life's purpose, though, is like I said, just teaching and healing. And actually, one of my life's purposes is creating miracles.
Yeah, I like that.
That's actually what I was told and what I've tested for. And so I'm like, there's so many miracles, just to be able to release them, just even one emotion from someone. To me, that's a miracle. I mean,
Absolutely.
to be able to release any kind of energy for someone, or to help them with that, because it's not me doing it, it's just me, directing that. But that's a miracle, just to receive that help right then and right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Even the smallest things count. Yeah.
So,
Yes. And like I said, even if I help one person, I helped one person one day with clear Akashic records, or, past lives, ancestors, just certain things that were just not serving. And we did as much as was allowed by source that day. Yeah. And so at the end, I was like, you know what? I think she needs some type of validation of what impact this makes. And so I tested for her, just by her choosing that healing for that day, that clearing, how many people were positively affected by that. And it was in the thousands.
Yes. I mean, according to the Tao, when we do a clearing, I mean, this is, it's 135,000 beings plus. When you do a clearing in the lineage, you're going back 6 generations and 9 generations in the future. So it's somewhere like 135,000 plus. So that's what to me is really exciting. So each person that you touch in the work that you're doing, the multiplier effect is just astronomical.
Well, and to give you just one more quick thing, the girl that I'm working with the STAR program now, that we're testing with her, she's gone from so-called, negativity in the subconscious, which is just things that are not serving her. She went from, the average American is like 96 to 98, almost 99% negativity in their subconscious. Yeah. And so she shifted all the way down to like less than 20% in 2 months.
That's great.
And also, so we checked her, like when she started the program, she would, like, just by what she was doing, because she does some energy healing work herself and stuff, but just by what she was learning and doing, she was affecting like 185,000 people or something like that by what she was doing on average. And now that's up to 900 and something thousand people by what she's choosing to do right now, because her frequency has gone up so much. She's in a totally different frequency. She's healed so many of her past lives, other timelines, other dimensions, ancestors, all of that. There's just so many that have been healed and changed for the positive, just by her choosing to go through this journey and to transform her life.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage.
It's a big difference, but it takes dedication. I'm still learning, and it takes. You have to be dedicated to making the change. You got to make the choice to make the change.
Yeah, never ending.
So it does. Yeah.
All right, so, I'm going to run for now.
Okay.
All right. Bye again, and thank you very much for the interview.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.